makes it easier to live in rural areas. Dr. Joseph Aaron is a professor of medicine at UNC Chapel Hill.
With both vaccines, there were no episodes of severe disease in the people that got vaccinated. We don't know how long immunity will last. To me, that's the biggest open question. Is this going to last for 3 months, 5 years?
Another open question, when will President Trump get the vaccine? President-elect Biden is due to receive the Pfizer shot tomorrow. There's little question, at least from the Secretary of State's perspective, as to who's to blame for the massive intrusion into U.S. government servers of late. But the president has been contradicting Mike Pompeo this weekend, as CBS's Catherine Herridge reports.
On Twitter, President Trump downplayed the hack's severity and said China, not Russia, may be responsible. But Friday, his Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, blamed Moscow, saying it was, quote, pretty clear Russia was behind it.
So no other U.S. official but the president has said China had anything to do with the SolarWinds hack. The president says it was not as severe as the press has made it out to be. Experts say they don't yet know the full extent of the damage, but they already consider it the worst episode of cyber espionage in American history. As the president continues to baselessly claim fraud in the election, CBS News confirms a report that Mr. Trump is looking into the possibility of appointing a special counsel to probe unfounded allegations of fraud. Attorney Sidney Powell, an ally of the president, said to be under consideration. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's banking app lets you manage your money anytime, anywhere. This is Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet? Capital One NA.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
This stuff is fabulous. Your commercials don't even do it justice. The energy, everything, it's just amazing. People say, your skin looks so nice lately. Thank you. You know, it's Balance of Nature. It's amazing.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code FRUITS.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. Goherenext.com.
Well, first news. I'm Tom Perulian on the official weather station, WWL AM.com.
Cool, damp start will lead to more clouds this afternoon, but some sunshine coming out later today. High staying in the low 60s, but looking dry for the Saints game.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone. Violence punctuating the weekend just 5 days before Christmas. WWL TV's Mike McDaniel files this report.
The uptick in violent crimes in New Orleans continues through the weekend. Police now investigating several shootings. The 8th shooting happened in the 500 block of Canal Street. Police say that's when a man was shot in the leg. We're waiting for updates on both victims' conditions. There was also a triple shooting last night in the St. Claude neighborhood. 2 adults and an 8-year-old boy were taken to the hospital with injuries. Now, this happened just before 6 o'clock in the 1100 block of Pida Street. We have yet to receive an update on the victims' conditions. A witness on the scene did say this was a drive-by shooting, but police have not confirmed that just yet. It's unclear if the shooter was targeting a specific person. If you know anything about this shooting, be sure to call police.
Meanwhile, NOPD is working a murder in Algiers. It happened around 7:45 in the evening near the intersection of de Gaulle and LB Landry Drives. An NOPD 4th District officer patrolling the area heard gunshots. He found the sedan had run off the road. The adult female driver of the vehicle was found unresponsive, having sustained multiple wounds. She was declared deceased at the scene. A male victim at the scene was found to be a passenger in the vehicle. He was not injured. Outgoing New Orleans District Attorney Leon Canizero is reflecting on the case that got away involving now deceased defrocked Catholic deacon and accused pedophile George Brignac.
And you know, I hate to say this about a person who is now deceased, but I had no sympathy for him because of what he had done and because of the destruction and the hurt and the harm that he had posed to these individuals.
Canizero says he was taken back by the amount of emotional damage the suspect inflicted on children over a 50-year period that saw him acquitted and retried on pedophile charges 4 times.
In
WWL Sports.
This Saints Update is brought to you by Oakwood Heart Jewelers. Finer diamonds at the best possible price. The defending Super Bowl champs coming to New Orleans this weekend with the top offense in the NFL. The Chiefs' offense is averaging 429 yards per game through 13 games, and a large part of that comes from their Pro Bowl wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. Former Saints running back and color analyst for the Saints Radio Network, Deuce McAllister, talked about how Hill's presence makes the Chiefs' offense so much more dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, his speed, his ability to take the top off, you know, and not just take it off. He can catch it. He can catch it. And, I mean, that's what makes that offense even more difficult because of some of the things that they do and the resources that you do have to allocate to Tyreek Hill.
Kickoff in the Dome is set for 3:25 p.m. right here on WWL. Tim Zimmer, WWL Sport.
Now the forecast from your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist, Peyton Malone.
Cool damp start this morning will lead to partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Highs will be in the low 60s. Tonight it will be chilly with some upper 30s north of the lake to mid 40s south of the lake. Monday, mid 60s with mostly sunny skies. Mostly sunny skies on Tuesday with the mid 60s as well. On Wednesday, we warm up into the low 70s with about a 30% chance of showers. And then our cold front and rain moves in by late Wednesday into early Thursday. Looks like temperatures will be falling throughout Thursday with drying conditions. So temperatures in the 50s and eventually the 40s. Highs in the low 50s to upper 40s on Christmas Day. I'm your local weather expert forecast center. I'm WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
The following is a paid program. The views and advice expressed are not that of WWL or Intercom Louisiana LLC. Assessing a person's legal matter often requires extensive interviews, review of contracts and documents, and research of the current state of the law and the issues involved. As a result, the information provided by the attorneys and guests of All Things Legal is given for informational purposes only. It is not to be construed as legal, tax, investment, or other professional advice. Communications with the attorneys on this program, whether verbal or digital, do not create an attorney-client relationship. From WWL, the News Talk and Sports Powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Paid for by Nico and Sunseri. Call or text 504-260-1870 or join us anytime, anywhere on the Radio.com app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning, Doug Sunseri. Albert Nico, your weekend lawyer, is All Things Legal. Give us a call at 260-1870, and I will be on till 10 o'clock this morning. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, good morning, Doug. How you
Doing great, doing great. All's right with the world. LSU is all we wanted them to do is play hard this year. Play with a lot of guts. Just play hard. And even though it was ugly, even though it was 600 yards of offense that was given up, even though we had 6 turnovers to their, they had 6 turnovers to our 1. We still won. We should be, anytime you see 6 turnovers to 1, you'd think you'd win by about 30, 40 points. But thank goodness, all's right with the world. LSU's 5-5, no losing season. And they had a very good 7 days in the last 7 days. Florida, great recruiting class, and then they beat Ole Miss. So there you go. And it's Christmas. So, I know. So we're doing all right. And it's Christmas. Albert, any word as to whether the mayor has canceled Christmas?
Don't know if that's going to happen. She finally did follow the science this year, but we were very concerned about it. Just the weekend before Christmas, so many restaurants, so many whatever, possibly being scaled back, but that didn't happen. So, hopefully, she got the message.
So Christmas is still on. Any Christian singers that she trashed this week? You know any? Or was she laid off any Christian pop singers who do not have a police record, or probably squeaky clean, and probably want to have as a daughter? Any problems with that this week? Yes, yes. Okay. Well, it sure didn't help. And I think Lauren Daigle is is everything good about Louisiana, and she's just a good girl, LSU grad. She does her songs are very good, very wholesome, very thoughtful. No jail record, no, not in the gossip columnist. She's just a good girl who just living her life the way she's supposed to. And I've seen carjackers and criminals get better treatment. So from the city of New Orleans. So that's interesting. Also, too, do you know whether Santa Claus has to wear a mask, or is he not allowed in Orleans Parish if he doesn't wear a mask? Any word on that? Huh? Is that good? I didn't know if she sent out something to the North Pole saying that Santa Claus wasn't allowed because I don't know, she saw him in the igloo, in the factory without wearing a mask with the elves or something like that. So we're good with that. All right, so it's not a lot of kids that listen to us, but that's good news for the kids. He will be allowed in the Orleans Parish for a limited time. Is there any curfew for Santa Claus? Do you know that? All right, but anyway, did you Bear, I know we're just giving an update on the ordinances for Christmas. What did you watch the games last night?
I did not.
You did not?
I watched a little bit of the Florida game, and believe it or not, I fell asleep. I was exhausted, but I was working at my daughter's house all day yesterday.
Yes, you bought a house, huh?
Just doing things that my body hadn't done in a while.
Well, she's lucky to have a dad like you who knows how to do things, especially if you buy a new house.
It's quite a chore. You're watching all the fixer-upper shows and everything else. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're just getting started. This weekend was demo day, right? So I was swinging a sledgehammer.
Oh wow! Wow! All right. Yes. Now let me ask you this: should Notre Dame go be in the final four, or Texas A&M? Do you have an opinion? What's that? Yeah, I agree. But I don't know if that.
The toughest schedule, top to bottom. Their one loss was to the number one team. It wasn't an ugly loss like Notre Dame last night. So, I think if they got it at 10, now who's going to bring more viewers? There's a lot of Notre Dame fans around the country that not just from South Bend, but so we'll see. I mean, I wonder. I got to think they factor all that in. Who's going to bring in most TV money?
Well, I know. I personally think that Texas A&M belongs there. I mean, Notre Dame, when they beat Clemson, they beat them with their backup quarterback. It was a great game, but they were playing with their backup quarterback, and the SEC schedule, top to bottom, there's really no off weeks. I mean, there's not a off week where you can say, sort of take a breath and say, okay, maybe Vanderbilt at best. But besides that, every team is competitive, unlike the ACC, where you definitely have the Syracuses and Dukes and a lot of teams that are definitely an off weekend. So hopefully for Jimbo, I think Jimbo deserves it. He's done a great job with Texas A&M, and it's great for the SEC, but he deserves it. I don't think Ohio State belongs there personally either. After just playing.
LSU won 5 games, right?
Yeah. And they didn't play their biggest rival, and it's just part of it. Now, one thing I do want to congratulate, and is the SEC and Louisiana High School Athletic Association football. Because if you remember back in September, August and July, you had a lot of people, locally for high school, such as the mayor of New Orleans, who did not want high school football, who wanted to deprive these young men of that, their only opportunity to play high school football, which is something, a event for a lifetime.
And perhaps their opportunity to
Yeah.
their skills to play college football.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. And Commissioner Eddie Bodine had a lot of spine and didn't buckle to the public pressure like a lot of other people did, and said, we're going to play football. We're going to figure out how it work, make it work, and this is what we're going to do. And, kudos to LSHAA, the commissioner, to get so that we're going to have in Natchitoches, it was supposed to be in the Superdome, but of course it's not there. We're going to have a high school championship. And we thank you for the, Commissioner Bodine didn't believe you should deal with this crisis by, getting in a fetal position under your bed sheets and just, waiting for it to pass. He said, we're going to do this. We're going to figure out a way to do this, and we're going to use ingenuity. We're going to be smart about it, and we're going to allow these, these high school students and high school football players enjoy, their last, their only opportunity to play high school football. We're not going to take that away from them. And Eddie Bodine do that. Also, the SEC commissioner, Greg Stanke, who said, again, when you had people on the left coast and in the East Coast and the left coast saying, nope, no football, stay under your bed sheets, stay in your fetal position, don't do anything, and just, depend on us, and we'll tell you when it's okay to come out. Instead of listening to that foolishness, they went ahead and said, we're going to play football. We're the South. We're about food, football, family, and God, and we're going to play football. And when they did it, they were criticized. They were criticized by a lot of bureaucrats, quote, experts, who said it could never be done. How many people have died because of this? How many football players? How many coaches? 0. And they're going to have a CFP national championship. Now, the ironic part is when they go to the Rose Bowl, California is as punitive as New Orleans when it comes to that. They go to the Rose Bowl, there's not going to be any fans, and they're going to have 3,000 fans for the semifinals for the Sugar Bowl, which is disappointing at best. But at least they haven't.
I just got a text from my friend Johnny, and he said that Notre Dame's coach said that they're not coming to New Orleans if they wouldn't allow more
Yeah.
fans, meaning, the players, families, children.
Right. He said, well, he might not have that choice now, but he did say that the other day, is that if we can't have our family there, which is ridiculous. The Rose Bowl holds 100,000 people. You could have, according to CDC guidelines, punitive CDC guidelines of 6 feet of distancing and work everything out, you probably could get 25,000 people in there easily. Without a problem. And, so kudos to the NCAA, kudos to LSHAA, not so much for the city of Pasadena and New Orleans for taking a great event and doing what they can to be Scrooge about it, but hey, that's par for the course. So, but we're going to talk a little bit about law, talk maybe a little about Saints, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Saints Chiefs. He's going to take a shot at Emmanuel Sanders at the goal line.
Okay, we have 4 waiting.
All right.
Justin, let's talk about Justin's stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Thomas from New Orleans East has a question about workman's comp. Robert from River Ridge has a question about medical insurance. And Michael from New Orleans, question about construction.
Okay. So one more time, give it to me. You got Justin.
We have Thomas from New Orleans East, workman's comp. construction.
Gotcha.
And we have 2 more coming in.
Oh, man.
Take an adventure you'll never forget in the spacious BMW X5, or savor every moment of the highway home in the iconic 3 Series. This year, don't just take the road home, truly experience it in the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in at the BMW Road Home Sales Event to receive an up to $3,500 credit on select models through December 31st. Stay delivered by December 31st. Up to $3,500 credit applied against MSRP for select new 2021 BMWs financed through BMW Financial Services. Visit BMWUSA.com/roadhome for offer details.
Enjoy a credit up to $3,500 on select BMW models now through December 31st at BMW's Road Home Sales Event. Visit peakbmw.com for details.
After such an emotional year, she deserves a gift that brings out the best emotions possible. Happiness, joy, and love. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in creating those memorable moments. And this year, we believe they're more important than ever. So, for the entire month of December, we're making it easy with 48 months, 0 interest financing on everything. All rings, all earrings, all bracelets and pendants, all bands, and yes, all designer jewelry, including thousands of engagement rings with certified natural diamonds. With Diamonds Direct's expanded holiday selection, it's like shopping 50 jewelry stores at once. And rest assured,
Okay, it stands now with Justin, Thomas, Robert, and Michael.
Okay.
Everybody else fell off.
however you
Gotcha.
pay for this, you'll get the best value, the highest quality, and the financing that makes everything affordable. 4 years, 0 interest. After all you've been through this year, end it on a high note by celebrating your love with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and symbolic. From Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Homeowners, it's Newell. If you live in Jefferson Parish, you know who to call when you've got a clog. Pipes R Us Plumbing. But what about when your water heater breaks, or you need a new appliance hooked up, or you want to update your kitchen or bath with new faucets? Pipes R Us does all that too. A+ rated with the BBB and locally owned for 17 years. So, for home plumbing repairs, water heaters, faucets, and more, call Pipes R Us Plumbing and let them peek in your pipes. Online at pipesarusplumbingla.com. LMP number 2953.
At MD Anderson Cancer Center, we continue to raise the standard in cancer care while prioritizing the safety of our patients. Our team has treated every type of cancer, so nothing is rare to us. This depth of expertise allows us to offer customized treatments, including groundbreaking therapies only available here. What will we do in the pursuit of making cancer history? Whatever it takes. More at makingcancerhistory.com.
And the children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of cyber threats danced in their heads.
Add cyber threats to the holidays and it ruins.
Okay, we're going live right after this.
All right,
shopping
gotcha.
online.
I entered my credit card so lively and quick, never considering that cyber criminals were watching my every click.
We do so much online this season that can end up exposing our personal information. But if you have Norton 360 with LifeLock, the holidays look a lot merrier.
On Norton, on LifeLock.
Norton 360 with LifeLock helps protect the info on your devices, your online privacy, and your identity. No one can prevent all cybercrime or identity theft, but Norton 360 with LifeLock helps you tell cyber criminals to
dash away, dash away, dash away all.
Now you can save 25% or more off your first year. Go to norton.com/news. That's 25% off at norton.com/news.
It's WWL and all things legal with Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri. Join us on the whodhatlending.com talk and text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Albert, callers are taking your advice because they don't want to hear us talk sports anymore. So we got phone lines are full. Let's first go to Justin. I just said some bad things about Notre Dame, and I got to talk to Justin. Hey, Justin, you know all things legal. I'm not saying bad thing. Good. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry, Justin. When I was talking about Notre Dame, I thought about you because it's nothing. I love Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame. I grew up loving them. I just don't believe they deserve to be there this year. But
I don't like it. My dad, when he forced me to go to Notre Dame, I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to LSU.
that's a, there you go. It's too cold up there too.
Anyway, I have a Christmas story for you.
Okay.
This is how wicked. My dad, John Marcel, had a wicked sense of humor. And I was 12 years old. I had a sister 11, a brother 10, another brother 6. And dad was gone. This is a long time ago. So my dad was gone all Christmas Eve. My mother calls a meeting, and my mother was in on it. She says, "Oh, we had a meeting. Oh, Dad's gonna be going out of town, so Santa Claus is not coming for Christmas this year."
No kidding.
We said, "What?" Well, it's funny because we were so depressed the whole day.
Really?
Pulling a joke on us. Yeah. Well, we
They
was pulling a joke on us.
you knew it? Because I mean, they'd call, child protection.
I didn't know it at the time.
You didn't know at the time.
But at the time, it's like Christmas Eve at 5 o'clock. We all go to sleep. We're so mad. And I wake up like Christmas Day, 4 in the morning. I go downstairs and there's presents all over the tree. And I say, "Oh my God!" I ran to my dad's bedroom. He was in his bedroom laughing his ass off.
Well, he got you. Now, let me ask you this: how much did the therapy cost after to deal with this situation? And how long did you have to go? How much did the therapy cost? And how long did you have to go?
My dad got me. And I tell you, I always told him, I said, "Dad, that's one of the best jokes, pranks I've ever gotten in my life." And he gave us some good things. And I had a brand new record player with some good Led Zeppelin albums.
Oh, well.
And then we all thought we were forgotten. My dad got it. So God bless my dad.
God bless.
He's so great. He's such a funny sense of humor. Having Merry Christmas to you and your families. And
Yeah, you too.
okay?
I will, sure will. All right, Merry Christmas, Justin. Thanks for calling. All right, let's go to Thomas. Has got a question. He's from the East. Hey, Thomas, you know all things legal. Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico.
Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Thomas.
This is my problem. I was working for a company. I got hurt. I went to, they sent me to rehabilitation in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And I settled with the company. I'm no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're sending me bills because they say they couldn't get all the money out of the
Okay.
company that they sent.
Okay, generally what happens is when you do a workers' comp settlement, there's usually an agreement in the settlement documents that state that the workers' comp carrier will be responsible, or the employer will be responsible for all billing up until the settlement is approved by the workers' compensation judge. Because anytime you settle a workers' comp case, an application has to be submitted to the workers' comp judge, and he or she has to approve it. So usually unless there's a stipulation that states that you are responsible for any outstanding bills. So I don't know what your settlement says, but if you settle, you'd have to take a look at it saying, the settlements that we do when we settle workers' comp claims for the insurance company is we'll say a stipulation A, the claimant is responsible for any unpaid medical record bills, or they're responsible for it, or B, there's an agreement that any medical treatment incurred up until the date of approval by the workers' comp judge is covered by the workers' comp carrier or the insurance company. So I'd say first you got to look at your agreement to see if that's addressed.
Well, they told me that I said, well, why are you sending me a bill? And they say, well, they don't want to talk to us.
Well, I think when you're a medical provider, they send it to whoever, to the patient. They'll send it to the workers' comp carrier. They'll send it, as a matter of procedure, trying to get the bill paid. They don't care who pays the bill. They just want it paid. So, I would say that they're just trying to send it to anyone who would consider paying for it. So, what I would do is if that's part of the workers' comp carrier, I would take the bill, I would send it to whoever the insurance company was or who you claims adjuster, and just put a little note on it saying this bill was sent to me, please take care of, provided that was part of y'all's agreement. All right. Thank you much. All right, let's go to Robert. He's got a question. Hey, Robert, you're in all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico.
Good morning, gentlemen. I had a medical procedure done in March of this year. Went through all the diagnostic tests to make sure that it was covered by my insurance and so on and so forth. And paid my portion up front, which was several $1,000s. And then around June or so, I got a bill for $9,000. Called my insurance company. They said because it was deemed medically unnecessary. And I said, I don't see how that can be. We went through everything that we were supposed to do, and then it turns out that the procedure was in March. My doctor didn't submit to the insurance company until June, and that's when it was denied. I asked them to look into it. For a while, the bill seemed to have gone away. Well, I just got another one. Looks like they cut it in half, but it's still like almost $4,000. And so I got back in touch with the insurance company. I filed an appeal, and they're going through that process. But I was just wondering, if they deny it, if I have any recourse, because the doctor, for whatever reason, if they're not answering any of my questions, but why would you wait until 3 months after the procedure to submit it to insurance?
Okay, so I guess addressing the first part of your last part of your question, just administrative oversight on the doctor. On the first part of the question, what you have to do basically is exhaust all the administrative appeals. Okay, within it's probably one or two companies, Blue Cross or United Medical. You exhaust all those appeals within. Now that's somewhat difficult. You're gonna have to read the fine print. You send, and when you send your letter, send it certified mail or fax, and you have a certified receipt or however they tell you to do that. Exhaust your appeals. Now, a lot of times it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. It's just the way it is. It's like dealing with the government. Usually, if in your situation, as you described it, if you get up high enough on the food chain, they're going to take care of it. Now, if you exhaust all your appeals, okay, all of them, and then they still do not pay, there is a statute. Is this a employment? Is this based on your employer, or is this an individual policy?
Individual.
Okay.
The term is applied by my employer, but it's got nothing to do with my work.
Okay. So it's an individual policy that you purchase. If it's one of those, then there's some pretty good laws. Once you exhaust all your appeals, for them being penalized for non-payment. Very substantial penalties for that. So what you would have to do is make sure you exhaust all your appeals. You're going to read the fine print, stay on the phone with someone, have a lot of verification about what the disputes are, keep a diary. In the diary, you note every time you contacted Blue Cross, whatever insurance company is. And then I think at some point they will deal with it. Okay. But if they don't, and you exhaust all your appeals, there's very, very generous laws for an insured or a patient claimant, that if they don't pay and they're supposed to, they can be liable for penalties, attorney's fees, in addition to payment of the bill. So, but the only problem is it takes a lot of time and it's very, very frustrating. Okay, so if you can adjust your expectations that this will be a frustrating process, you will be placed on hold, you will be shuffled around from department to department, but keep it all documented. You'll be able to get it paid.
Right, and just one follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Should I contact the creditor, in case
I think that's a very good idea. Tell the creditor it's an insured. Yeah, Albert.
I would also send letters to the credit reporting agencies, because at some point they're going to send letters, Experian and all those groups, and Wells Fargo, and then you're going to that might affect your credit rating. So send a dispute letter and let them know the status if you're in the appeal process. And that way, it shows a creditor that you are
I wouldn't pay him now.
The issue is you're going to have to make sure that this procedure is in fact covered and is not excluded under the policy or considered, elective. And so, you gotta read your policy, read, the conditions, et cetera, and determine that you are correct, because you're going to eventually have to establish that at appeal, and they're pretty loaded for gas. So, but I would make sure that you do that as best you can. Look, sometimes it's like reading Greek text, but that's the procedure you need to follow, because you're going to have to prove your case on appeal.
All right.
Well, that really gives you a lot of info. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. All right, let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
I love football. Once you play pro football, you never want to leave the game. Even if I can't play, I still want to talk about it.
One more holding on. Michael from New Orleans East, construction question.
All right.
Of the Saints, we're the first stop for every Houdat. As the home of LSU sports, Tiger fans know we have you covered for all things purple and gold. Big guests, big opinions, and your calls. Sports insiders and exclusive interviews. Sports talk weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. on the most powerful station in the South, WWL.
It all starts with just one thing. When giving gifts this holiday season, keep environmental sustainability in mind. Avoid getting useless gifts and knickknacks, and look for durable items that will last for years. It all starts with one thing. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Life insurance for $1 a day? Really? Sure, if you're young, in perfect health, and want to get coverage that you'll have to replace when you're older and not so healthy. If you want real life insurance coverage that'll be with you for life, call Big Lou. There's no $1 a day bait and switch schemes, only honest answers and quotes you can depend on. If you're 50 years old with a little more belly than you'd like, $750,000 for 20 years could be less than $200 per month. Go to biglou.com and read Lou's reviews. He's a straight shooter with the best reviews you'll ever find. Call now to get your free, no obligation quote and get started with affordable term life insurance. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on a few meds too. Call 800-345-2789 or visit biglou.com.
After a year like no other, she deserves something truly special. And Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best holiday offer ever. 48 months, 0 interest financing on any purchase. So you can get her that diamond ring, pair of diamond earrings, or diamond eternity band and spread your payments over 4 years without paying a dime in interest. In fact, everything's included. All bracelets, all pendants, all new designer jewelry, all colored gemstone jewelry, even our designer engagement rings. Diamonds Direct makes it easy to splurge with this first time ever holiday offer. And as always, your safety and your convenience are top priorities. You can shop in our showroom with confidence or video chat with us online at diamondsdirect.com and even arrange for curbside pickup. If we've learned anything this year, it's that our loved ones and our relationships are what matter most. So make her holiday the best ever with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and sentimental. And remember, with any purchase, you can take advantage of 4 years, 0 interest financing. Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
This is Attorney Doug Sunseri, host of All Things Legal on Sunday mornings.
This is Attorney Michelle Demmer at Sunseri. As a result of COVID-19, many are experiencing unique family law difficulties resulting in divorce and custody issues.
Also, we've argued for estate planning, wills, and powers of attorney.
At Nico and Sunseri Law Firm, we make the complex understandable.
Call me at my notary office at 504-837-1304.
Or call me, the boss lady, on the North Shore, my new office in Vanderbilt at 985-624-9697.
Boss lady, really?
Bobby Abear, KJ Cannon here for River City's Total Maintenance. River City's Total Maintenance is an unbelievable air conditioning and heating service and installation company. They are the only company in the area guaranteeing same-day service. You know what that means? Same-day service. They will have somebody out there today, the only one. So call 504-841-3300 or visit noaac.com. Remember, when you need air conditioning, it's River City's Total Maintenance because you can't pass on same-day service.
Selling or trading your car can sometimes be more trouble than it's worth. I'm Jim LeBlanc with Volunteers of America. We turn every donated car into a vehicle of hope for people in need. We'll quickly pick up
your motorcycle free of charge. Handle all the paperwork, and you can get a great tax deduction. It's that simple. Call now to see if donating your vehicle makes sense for you. Call 264-5725. 264-5725. 264-5725.
Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19, so use an accurate thermometer for twice daily temperature checks. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, physicians, and nurses. Stay safe with Exergen.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rate. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Dell Technologies' end-of-year sale is the perfect time to upgrade tech for your business. Save big on the latest computers powered by Intel Core processors for your small business. And don't forget to shop servers, storage, and thousands of top-brand electronics, all with free shipping. Call a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech for your business needs at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Klein, Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
Back to WWL and all things legal with attorneys Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Connect
We got Michael, huh?
Talk and text line.
We have Michael on.
260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers. All right, we got a text from listener Kevin Landry. Kevin, and he had said on the issue regarding the Blue Cross. Oh, I'm saying Blue Cross. I'm assuming it's Blue Cross. It's the health insurer. It could be United Blue Cross issue. If you are trying to administratively appeal to get your medical bills paid, it was suggested that you CC the insurance commissioner on each letter that you write and send him a copy, just so that his office has a copy of the file. And that's very good advice. And Kevin, just bill Albert for that wonderful advice. All right, let's go to phone lines. What's that? There you go. There you go. All right. And I think Albert tacitly agreed to pay the bill. All right, let's go to Michael's got a question. Hey, Michael, you know all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico.
Good morning, happy holidays.
Hey, yeah, you I could.
Maybe once a month,
You.
every couple of months or so. I love you guys. This is a question for Albert. I'm in the construction industry, and we fallen in a few times. Yeah, a few times over the year. So, first question is, I've definitely taken, I guess, a step ahead or leap ahead and taken some of your advice on adding a provision in my contract stating that if a dispute arises and goes to legal, clients will be responsible for legal fees. The question is, I had one client, I haven't started the job yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the job, but the guy asked, and he had a question about that provision. He's like, well, why would I sign this stating that if a dispute arises, I'm going to pay all legal fees? The question was, do I put in that provision if the dispute is the fault of the client, then client pays legal fees, or how should it be worded a little better? Yeah, so that's, just put a provision in there. For instance, you can add two things. One, if I've got to collect money from you that you haven't paid, then you're going to pay the attorney's fees for collection. And then if there's a dispute regarding the contract, the prevailing party will have their attorney's fees paid by the other party. Now, that's a double-edged sword, because if you lose, then, you're paying two lawyers, right? Right. If you run your business properly and you have good counsel that can prove that the job was done properly properly and on time, then you shouldn't have a problem with putting that in the agreement. And if you could just leave it simple as just for non-payment purposes. So if you don't pay me, and I have to collect my money. In the 99 times out of 100, if a contractor is trying to collect money from somebody, immediately the homeowner is going to say, oh, well, even though I didn't complain for 3 months, you messed this up and you messed that up. And it just, then instead of setting up a dispute to try to beat you down on getting paid some of the amounts. Oh, I see. Okay. And the second question is, on say like a renovation project, this is another project that I'm trying to land. Can a client get rid of you for no reason for working on their property? Say, for instance, if you all have little minor disputes about this or that, and you all just can't see eye to eye, can that client get you off of that job and just terminate you and perhaps, I guess, pay you for what you've done, but whatever else is left, just terminate you and perhaps get someone else? Is that legal, or how does that work? All right, so even though, you have a written contract, a written agreement, either party can terminate it for any reason. Now, the question becomes, what is the reason, and then the ramifications will occur from that. So if you get terminated without cause, if they terminated, your hair is yellow and I don't like people with yellow hair, I'll terminate. So that's a termination without cause. Then what they will have to pay is what you have billed thus far, including your overhead profit, and you profit on the job, because that's what you're losing. You're not losing what you anticipate paying to others, because you have to pay that. But you would also be entitled to the remaining profit on the job. So if you got another $50,000 left on the job, and you're expecting to make 10% profit on that, they technically would owe you another $5,000 if you were in fact terminated for cause. I got no calls at all. Yeah, you want to go ahead and fight, right? So for $5,000, go on your merry way, take the money you've made so far, and go handle another job somewhere. That's what you would advise. Well, yeah, at that point, because if you're going to hire an attorney to go review everything and get involved, it's going to cost you that, in no time to get that get the money. All right. Well, I sure appreciate you guys. You guys are very good help. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Michael. But, all right. When you hear Albert on, you got a construction question, definitely call. All right, let's go to a break. The Sunseri, Albert, Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
The Maple Street Cafe is proud to announce their Christmas 2020 menu. Located at 7623 Maple Street in the heart of Uptown, the Maple Street Cafe wants to take the stress out of your Christmas meal and cook for your whole family with this delicious 3-course menu for takeout orders and open for dine-in dinner on Christmas Day. Course 1, a corn and crab soup. Course 2, a fresh spring mix.
Okay, we'll have 4 minutes, and the subject is yours.
All right.
14-ounce oyster stuffed pork chop topped with horseradish demi-glaze. The duck chimino hand-seared boneless pepper-crusted duck breast served with thick sauce. Angel hair Zayat with fresh Gulf shrimp sauteed with mushrooms and sun-dried tomatoes. The Vildina, sauteed baby white veal topped with artichokes, sun-dried tomatoes, and capers. And finally, the chicken marsala topped with mushrooms and marsala sauce. However, Christmas Day order in early or dine in on Christmas night. Maple Street Cafe, open Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve. And online at maplestcafenola.com. That's maplestcafenola.com.
After such an emotional year, she deserves a gift that brings out the best emotions possible. Happiness, joy, and love. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in creating those memorable moments. And this year, we believe they're more important than ever. So, for the entire month of December, we're making it easy with 48 months, 0 interest financing on everything. All rings, all earrings, all bracelets and pendants, all bands, and yes, all designer jewelry, including thousands of engagement rings with certified natural diamonds. With Diamonds Direct's expanded holiday selection, it's like shopping 50 jewelry stores at once. And rest assured, in our showrooms, we're going above and beyond when it comes to your safety. Plus, we're offering video chat, online shopping, and curbside pickup. However you connect with us, you'll get the best value, the highest quality, and the financing that makes everything affordable. 4 years, 0 interest. After all you've been through this year, end it on a high note by celebrating your love with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and symbolic. From Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall. Hey, my boy Troy, tell us all about the end of the year sale.
Thanks, Tommy. Yes, it's the end of the year super sale at all premier locations. We have fresh inventory arriving daily. And with the shortage of used cars, people are now getting top value in all their trades. Or will even buy your car for cash today. And with the record low interest rates, a lot of loans that were turned down before are now getting approved. We have 0 down and no payments till next year. You heard right, 0 down and no payments till next year. Yes, Tommy, we're so excited. It's that annual sale we look forward to at the end of every year. We're cutting deals like we have never cut before. So if you were thinking about buying a car, new or used, go to any premier dealership because there's never going to be a better time than now.
It's the end of the year sale. Premier Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Premier Honda, Premier Kia, Premier Nissan, and Toyota New Orleans in the Premier Clearance Centers on Vex and the West Bank.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com.
Going live right after this week.
Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, the sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel was created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learn. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's WWL and all things legal with attorneys Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Connect with us on the who.lending.com talk and text line. 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Albert, you were talking about, employment and saying that, if you fired someone with yellow hair, you could do that. And it got me, and we just had a text from a listener. And it's sort of an interesting topic. I want to extend it into the second hour, which we're going to in about 2.5 minutes. But as you know, we're an at-will state in Louisiana as far as employment is concerned. If you don't have a written contract for a specific period of time, you can be fired for any reason except for a discriminatory reason, such as based on age, based on race, national origin, gender, which gender now is sort of squishy, gender, and other protected classes. And what do you think about, and we'll talk about this later, mandatory vaccinations required by employers?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. It's such a state of flux.
Yeah.
With the max vaccinations and, let me tell you, I never buy the Windows 1.0 version, right?
Right.
I'm gonna let the work the bugs out and let it morph a little bit into what it's supposed to be. It was it was rushed for good reason, and when you rush things, I know what I do. You're more prone to make mistakes. So as far as I'm concerned, I won't get the first version of this vaccine, but as time goes by and it shows to be effective. I mean, the reality is, the best that I've seen are like 94, 95% effective, but if you look at the death toll, 99.8% chance you're not going to die from this disease.
Actually higher than that. I think I've seen some estimates anywhere from 0.006 to, less than, 0.01, but you're correct.
Yeah, the people, they're talking about this large number of people, again, most of whom are very old and very compromised, who, we all need to protect. We know who they are, they know who they are. And, those are the people that all these bailouts should be for, but everybody else must open up.
Well, but there's a ruling, which we'll talk about the next hour, from the EEOC, which is or the EEOC, which is the subdivision of the Department of Labor, which handles discrimination claims. And, it's an interesting ruling, but needless to say, my body, my baby does not apply to this situation, apparently. So, I've seen some intellectual contortions in the reasoning of the government and the EEOC on this, but we're going to talk about this after the break. So we're going to go to a CBS News update. We're going to go to local news. We'll be back for hour number 2. All Things Legal will be on till 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock starts leading into Saints coverage, first take, and countdown to kickoff. So we'll stay tuned to WWL, AM, FM, and Radio.com all day. And we're going to talk a little Saints and maybe a little more LSU in the second hour also. But I think it'll be an interesting topic to further discuss whether you have to get vaccines or not. So stay tuned. We'll see you in about 10 minutes on All Things Legal. See you in 10.
The previous show was a paid-for program. The views and advice expressed were not that of WWL or Entercom Louisiana LLC. Assessing a person's legal matter often requires extensive interviews, review of contracts and documents, and research of the current state of the law and the issues involved. As a result, the information provided by the attorneys and guests of All Things Legal is given for informational purposes only. It is not to be construed as legal, tax, investment, or other professional advice. Communications with the attorneys on this program, whether verbal or digital, do not create an attorney-client relationship.
Home of the New Orleans Saints and LSU Fighting Tiger Sports. 870 AM WWL New Orleans. 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans. A Radio.com sports station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Stephen Portnoy. There's a new strain of COVID that's worrying Europe, so much so that Italy and the Netherlands have now banned travelers from the UK. This new strain is believed to be more contagious than prior ones. Surgeon General Jerome Adams tells Face the Nation.
It just further reinforces the fact that we need to wash our hands, wear our mask, watch our distances, keep our household gatherings small, because if this is a mutation of contagious, then that just means that we need to be that much more vigilant while we wait.
No, not yet.
One of the heads of Operation Warp Speed said this morning it's likely that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines being sent across the country would provide protection from this new strain. The Moderna shots are rolling from the freezers to the trucks today to be sent out to all 50 states. Last week, governors across the country complained that they weren't getting the shots they expected. General Gus Perna, who leads Operation Warp Speed, fell on his sword yesterday and said he's responsible for what he calls a miscommunication.
The number of doses available to us to allocate ended up being lower. And so when we had to decide what was going to eventually be shipped out, I had to lower the allocations to meet the releasable doses that were presented to me.
Perna says it's still his belief that 20 million doses of the vaccines will go out by the end of the month. By the end of the day, we could see final passage of a COVID relief bill in Congress. And you may have heard talk about a hang-up this weekend involving lending programs at the Federal Reserve. Overnight, Democrats said they reached a compromise with Republicans on that point. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer.
I believe there is good faith from all 4 corners of congressional leadership to finalize an agreement very soon.
Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney said today that the president has a blind spot when it comes to the threat posed by Russia. And on CNN this morning, Romney said this about the massive cyber hack that Russia is said to be behind.
It's extraordinarily dangerous, and it's an outrageous affront on our sovereignty, and one that's going to have to be met with a very strong response, not just rhetorical, important as that is, but also with a cyber response of like magnitude or greater.
President Trump tweeted yesterday the press has made too much of the hack, which apparently reached into several U.S. government systems. He also suggested China may have been to blame, even though Secretary of State Pompeo said it was pretty clearly Russia. Mr. Trump continues to baselessly claim the election results were fraudulent. CBS News confirmed he floated the possibility of appointing lawyer Sidney Powell to be a special counsel to probe those unfounded claims of fraud. Powell has advanced a number of conspiracy theories that have failed in court. This is CBS News.
Today, stronger immunity and better nutrition are more important than ever. That's why Eggland's Best gives you and your family more. That's healthy news for everyone. Only Eggland's Best.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation and get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Peruvian on your official weather station, WWL AM/FM&.com.
St. Sunday not looking too bad. We will have the clouds in the morning, lingering into sunshine later this afternoon. Highs in the low 60s and more sunshine heading into Monday.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Kate Malone, will have your local weather expert forecast in a few moments. A murder in Algiers last night. WWL TV's Mike McDaniel has the latest.
There's a homicide investigation happening in Algiers. This shooting happened just before 8 o'clock last night at the intersection of General de Gaulle and LB Landry Drives. This is near the Fisher Development neighborhood. According to police, an officer on patrol heard some gunshots in that area and then found a car that had run off the road. Inside was the body of a woman who had been shot multiple times. A man was in the passenger seat. He was unharmed.
New Orleans police ask for your help in solving this crime. If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungasser is resting at home in Plaquemines Parish after being treated for COVID-19 at University Medical Center. Nungasser says he was administered an IV that was an experimental antibody treatment. Speaking with WWL TV, Nungasser described how he's been feeling.
My fever comes and goes. I go through coughing spells and kind of achy all over and weak. But other than that, I'm not having any breathing problems and some of the serious symptoms that other people have dealt with. So I feel lucky thus far.
Nungasser says he may have contracted COVID-19 at a December 7th dinner party. He started to display symptoms last Monday and was diagnosed the next day. In WWL Sports.
This WWL Sports Report is brought to you by Oakland Heart. Finer diamonds at the best possible price. LSU ended their season in wild fashion last night with a defense that was opportunistic against Ole Miss.
First down attempt from their 25. It's going to be picked off on first down. The throw out to the wide side. Jay Ward takes it inside the 10, the 5, all by his lonesome. Pick 6. Touchdown, Tigers.
That Tiger defense
Touchdown.
158 total yards to the Rebels. They took the ball away 6 times. Every one of those stops proved important as LSU would win their finale 53-48 to finish the season at 5-5. As for the Saints, they'll put Drew Brees back on the field today at quarterback. Saints coach Sean Payton talked about what he's seen from Brees in practice this week.
He's looked good. He feels good, and we were encouraged at the start of the week. We wanted to see how it felt. As he went through a full practice week, and he's done a good job.
The good news for Brees, Kansas City is only 21st in the league in sacks per game, at just under 2. The Saints and Chiefs kick off at 3:25, and it's yours right here at WWL. We'll get you started with the Bud Light 10-minute kickoff at 1 o'clock. I'm Mark Menard, WWL Sports.
And now the forecast from your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist, Peyton Malone.
Few peaks of sunshine will come out later this afternoon. We'll also be dealing with some cloud cover highs in the low 60s as we go into your Monday highs in the low to mid 60s as well. Mostly sunny skies, though. We continue with the mostly sunny skies on Tuesday with mid 60s. For your Wednesday, clouds start to turn with highs in the low 70s. A few showers possible, but the best shot of rain comes Wednesday night and Thursday on Christmas Eve as our strong cold front blasts through. That means we'll be seeing tumbling temperatures on Thursday for Christmas Eve with a cool and sunny Christmas Day. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
The following is a paid program. The views and advice expressed are not that of WWL or Intercom Louisiana LLC. Assessing a person's legal matter often requires extensive interviews, review of contracts and documents, and research of the current state of the law and the issues involved. As a result, the information provided by the attorneys and guests of All Things Legal
is free, no calls, subject to zero.
or other professional advice. Communications with the attorneys on this program, whether verbal or digital, do not create an attorney-client relationship. From WWL, the news, talk, and sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Paid for by Nico and Sunseri Law Firm. Call or text 504-260-1870 or join us anytime, anywhere on the radio.com app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, All Things Legal. Back for hour number 2. We're on till 10 o'clock. And Albert, so you didn't watch the LSU game last night. Is that right? You heard about Tayshaun Boutte, huh? The freshman wide receiver set a LSU record, 14 catches for 308 yards.
Yeah, like 308 yards. I read that this morning. I didn't get to watch.
And he beat Josh Reed, who was 19 years ago. He was actually wide receiver at Buffalo Bills. After that, I think he was 305 for with Rohan Davey in a game. In that Sugar Bowl year where they beat Illinois. So they're the young guys, the ones who remained standing and the ones who wanted to play out the year, they had a fantastic effort. It's been a good week for Coach O. He's had a horrendous last 40 weeks in all respects. And they beat Florida 7 days ago. Great recruiting class. And all the naysayers are saying, we're wrong, and great victory for Ole Miss, and he's got a great problem. Max Johnson and TJ Finley is a good problem to have because it'll be interesting because Max is multidimensional. He can run and he can throw. He's got his dad's got the pedigree, it's like the Manning family. His father was a Super Bowl quarterback. His mother was a volleyball player, great volleyball player. And so you have that, but then on the other side, I think you have TJ Finley, who I think's got more upside, ultimately, which is, they're both great, but
I think the problem he's going to have is he's going to get Brennan back. Yeah, these two kids have had a taste of playing, and I think, when you're 19, you're a little impatient. So, I can see one of the two freshmen.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they didn't have a spring, and because they're a freshman, and it'll be nice to have a spring where you get 20 practices because it's as a true freshman without, and they didn't really have a fall practice either, fall practical purposes. A lot of it was zoomed and a lot of it was modified. So it's a great problem. I think this week will be looked at in the next 5 years as probably the most important week of Ed Orgeron's redirection of the program. It was sort of in free fall to a certain extent. He kept the course. He didn't waver to what he believed in, didn't waver, didn't panic, and didn't give it. Yeah.
Say what you want, but I think the defense is still in free fall.
Well, yeah, they are. Well, you know, I.
Not like you have great players on defense.
Well.
You know, so either he's not getting his message across, or you know, or he needs some smarter players or something. I don't know.
No, well, I think. Well, I think the mistake on hindsight is you had to modify your game plan given the lack of time to implement this new system. I mean, it's new coach, new system, 1-3-4 to 4-3. So part of dealing with this on the fly is, okay, we didn't have a spring, we didn't have fall practice or meaningful small practice. Let's make things simple, maybe a little less complex, and then we'll work it out from there rather than trying to implement something very complicated before they were ready. And so that, and you know, another thing too, I think Coach Saban said it best. He said, in the SEC, great defenses used to win championships. Not anymore. Great offenses do. So I think the game has changed. And, you know, you look at Florida and Alabama last night, 52-46, LSU 53-48. You know, it's just going to be shootouts now. And actually, the teams that win are the ones that are going to get a turnover here and there and steal a possession. And so that may be a little different, you know, as opposed to being able to actually stop them. Like, actually, the Ohio State Northwestern game was horrible to watch. But that was more of a SEC type of grind it out, you know, just kind of game. But I think those days are over. I mean, we're looking at, you know, Paul Westphal, Loyola Marymount type, you know, basketball now in football. They're just going to go up and down the field. And the defenses that are good are ones who get a few turnovers and, you know, maybe steal a possession or two. Because, you know, that's something.
You mentioned the Alabama game, and I was watching some of that. I was watching back between it and the pro game last night, hoping that Green Bay might trip up. But anyway, so I'm watching this game. Right before the half, Florida comes down, scores, cuts it to 4. There's about 50 seconds left, and Alabama gets the ball back. And Florida goes into a prevent defense, 3-man. So the quarterback had all day to stand there and pick them apart. It was just, you know, in your college, you can't do that. You get a first down, the clock stops. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, rush 4 at least, maybe even blitz. You can put pressure on them. They can get rid of the ball quickly, and, you know, you still have 6 guys back there playing defense. It's amazing to see people even ever run that defense. I can't think of one situation in which
Sure.
you run a
prevents you from winning. That's what it prevents you from doing. There you go. And before we get on our topic, which we'll probably do after the break, any thoughts, analysis for the Saints game today against Super Bowl?
You know, Drew ain't ready.
Yeah, no.
He wants to play. He's going to convince Tate I'm ready. He's not going to be able to throw the ball further than 20 yards down the field, which he's typically not doing anyway. And he's not going to have his go-to Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
So, you know, so now what?
All right, let me ask you this.
Hopefully the defense will step up and stay with them, but, you know, they got speed kills, right?
Well, let me ask you this.
A lot of 4-2 guys on that.
Oh yeah, Kansas City. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they'll probably put not in the box, but they'll have the line of scrimmage, you know, packed, knowing that it would be hard to get downfield. Now, let me ask you this: could Taysom be a long-term answer, or do you think he's better in his role as a Swiss Army knife?
He's got to improve his accuracy. He'll throw a beautiful pass, and then he'll throw on his dirt. And it's just, he's inconsistent. You know, it's a Tim a great guy. You want to cheer for him. But he missed guys that are open and can't make that, that all-pro quarterback type pass. And so, that's my, can you teach accuracy? I always thought you couldn't. But, LSU last year, he came along from a guy who was very inconsistent and did have some playing time. He played for 4 years. And he looked like Drew Brees out there with his accuracy. And so, if they can get a really good quarterback to work his technique, he's been throwing the ball like that for 24 years. So, it's going to be really hard. It's like changing your golf swing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, 40 years ago, that was my issue, right? I mean, I would throw a great pass and throw 5 terrible ones, because I was inconsistent. I played quarterback for 1 year.
I know, but that's because you used to go in the summers. You went to the Guido Merkins Passing Academy instead of the Archie Manning Passing Academy. That's what the
So I have a little appreciation and understanding for it, and if he can make that turn, I think he's got all the other skill set. The leadership. Nobody looks like they're having more fun playing football than Chris McCray. I mean, he played for $100 and he loved it. And
Well, I think he has a career doing what he's been doing for 20-25 plays. Yeah. But I sort of think he's good for 3 or 4 games as a change of pace. But I think they start scheming him, and I think he's good in his role. 20-25 plays. 5-10 plays as quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, and that's probably his ultimate role. And I think they're probably hiding Jameis Winston this year, and because they showcased Teddy Bridgewater a couple of years ago, and you see where he is now. But I think Jameis Winston they're looking at as the future.
Watching that game last night, they played Green Bay, and he was accurate on the short pass. And again, he's just maybe an average quarterback, and there's only 32 of them, and only 5 or 6 that really rise to the top, maybe 8, that you can say, okay, you can plug this guy in and he can go win a game for you.
Yeah.
But Teddy's the kind of guy that is not going to carry the team on his back. He needs a lot of help.
Yeah.
Around.
Right. He's a game manager. All right. Well, let's go to a break. We're gonna talk on an interesting topic about whether your employer can force you to get vaccinations in the near future and some of the guidance on that. So let's go to a break. I don't hear the music, but we're going to a break. There we go. Let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this week come up.
WWL is the home of LSU football and Fighting Tiger sports. Keep it locked here for breaking news about LSU, powered by Radio.com Sports, and brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Vans. Find out how far an extra mile really goes.
Life insurance for $1 a day? Really? Sure, if you're young, in perfect health, and want to get coverage that you'll have to replace when you're older and not so healthy. If you want real life insurance coverage that'll be with you for life, call Big Lou. There's no $1 a day bait and switch schemes. Only honest answers and quotes you can depend on. If you're 50 years old with a little more belly than you'd like, $750,000 for 20 years could be less than $200 per month. Go to BigLou.com and read Lou's reviews. He's a straight shooter with the best you'll ever find. Call now to get your free, no obligation quote and get started with affordable term life insurance. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on a few meds too. Call 800-345-2789 or visit BigLou.com. Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Klein, Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on Radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
Plan the retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to Your Money Matters Saturday mornings at 7 here on WWL, News, Talk, and Sports powerhouse of the Gulf South.
After a year like no other, she deserves something truly special. And Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best holiday offer ever. 48 months, 0 interest financing on any purchase. So you can get her that diamond ring, pair of diamond earrings, or diamond eternity band and spread your payments over 4 years without paying a dime in interest. In fact, everything's included. All bracelets, all pendants, all new designer jewelry, all colored gemstone jewelry, even our designer engagement rings. Diamonds Direct makes it easy to splurge with this first time ever holiday offer. And as always, your safety and your convenience are top priorities. You can shop in our showroom with confidence or video chat with us online at diamondsdirect.com and even arrange for curbside pickup. If we've learned anything this year, it's that our loved ones and our relationships are what matter most. So make her holiday the best ever with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and sentimental. And remember, with any purchase, you can take advantage of 4 years 0 interest financing. Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Protect your home from virus, bacteria, mold, and dust with a state-of-the-art OxyQuantum LED air purifier and relieve eye, nose, and throat irritation, headaches, and other health issues. Now more than ever, it's important to breathe clean air. Surgery is trusted by New Orleans since 1964 with quality trained products, 10-year parts and labor warranty, and 0% finance for 72 months. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Find us at surgeonsac.com.
Hi, this is Jackie from
Going live right after Lily Window.
All right.
We all use a little relaxation. Now more than ever, Earth Savers gift cards are the best gift in town. From meticulous manicures and pedicures to transformative facials to stress melting massages, we have something for everyone. Come into any Earth Savers location for a gift they will love, wrapped and ready to give. Earth Savers, Uptown, Lakeside, and Mandeville, or visit us online for a new gift card.
At Community Coffee, we've been making great tasting coffee for over 100 years. But what makes us different isn't just how long we've been around. It's how far we're willing to go in pursuit of the perfect cup. We select only the finest beans and use over 4 generations of the richest, most delicious coffee around. Find Community Coffee at your local grocery store or visit communitycoffee.com to order some today.
Brent Holly here, Premium Windows, professionally measured, professionally installed. ReliefWindows.com.
It's WWL and all things legal with Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri. Join us on the whodhatlending.com talk and text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We often get employment questions in our practice. Individuals who get fired from their job and they think it's for unfair reason. In other words, if you had a salesman who was the top seller and he still gets fired, and there's some salesman that didn't do as well, who they may take. They're like, well, it's not fair. It's not, I shouldn't have been fired. They fired me for the wrong reason. And, we're at an at-will state in Louisiana, meaning that you can be fired for any reason that's non-discriminatory, that's not covered by a anti-discrimination statute, Americans with Disabilities Act. And, which sometimes is a tough pill to swallow when you lose your job, because that's traumatic to begin with. So a lot of times, when we have these inquiries, we're like, okay, you were fired. Were you fired for, do you have a written contract? No. Was there any provision saying that you'd work for a specific period of time? No. Was it for a discriminatory reason, based on discrimination? No. Well, chances are you're not going to have a claim for, an employment claim, aside from getting your unemployment benefits, which would be, a separate criteria. But as far as filing a lawsuit, and Albert, you alluded to the vaccinations. They have the EEOC has just recently issued guidance basically stating that if an employer requests an employee to take a vaccination and they refuse, they can be terminated. And that's very interesting. Now, they did say that there's exceptions under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and for religious, based on religious objections, you may not be able to have to. But that's, we often hear in another argument, which we're not going to get into, my body, my choice. So I get to decide what to do with that little fellow in my stomach. But that argument doesn't apply to this situation. What do you think, Albert?
Well, obviously the response to that is, that doesn't affect, all of your coworkers, what your actions do if you choose to terminate pregnancy versus, choose to not have a vaccine, and, that would keep others healthy, right? So, I mean, I get that argument, but of course, the other side of that argument is, but it really hurts, the baby inside, right? So,
Right. Well,
we can all sympathize for it.
No. I was citing that argument that we hear, my body, my choice, seems to go out the window for this particular issue. I'm not commenting on whether it should or shouldn't. I'm just commenting on the selective application of that person's principle. That's all.
Yes, I think, from the problem I have with it most of all is that the EEOC is made up of a bunch of unelected bureaucrats. And so, the way Congress works, I read a great article on Congress. Basically, he said that our Congress is somewhat lazy because they put together a framework of a law, not a law, but they put together a framework and they say, okay, here EEOC, we're gonna appoint all of these bureaucrats and hire all these unelected bureaucrats, and you guys will figure out what this means and implement it. And then if there's a problem, that if somebody can take on the government and spend their money to, fight what these bureaucrats say in court. And so, and then, quite often it goes federal court, which is a bunch of unelected judges. So, I've got a real problem with an unelected bureaucrat telling me what I should have to put in my body in order to be employed. It's coming. It's the age of big government. Hopefully, the state can mandate it. Donald Trump got in a lot of trouble for this. They blamed him for certain things here and there, but he said, listen, this is not a national issue, although national safety was, but I'm going to leave it up to the governors to implement it. Everybody knows what's best for their state, or should know what's best for their state. And so, if I'm in Iowa and I can drive for 3 hours and not see another person, that little small county in Iowa may not have to have a shutdown, but I'm in New York City and I've got, 1 million people riding the subway every day. I'm going to let that governor choose what's best for his state. And I may say he's right or wrong or whatever the case may be, but it's going to be up to the state. Well, that's the Republican mentality. The Democrat mentality is, no, we're the government. We're going to tell everybody across the country who think differently, act differently, look differently, has different needs, different criteria, different geography, and we're going to tell everybody, what we want you to do, and we're going to force it on them. And that's got a problem with it.
Yeah, you're saying that. Now, I'm going to be opposition. I think if you talk to a Republican, they would want a uniform voting system among 50 states as opposed to, yeah, I know. I'm just telling you the other side of that argument.
Because this isn't a state issue, it's a federal issue, so there should be a uniform election system among the federal elections.
Yeah. Now, yeah, and sort of so traversing back to the issue we talked about before. You see, that's going to pose a lot of issues because I don't watch a lot of TV, but I think my wife watches Hallmark. Does Aaron watch that?
Yeah, she's not a TV watcher.
She my wife likes Hallmark, and I'll have my iPad close by watching the game. But anyway, these commercials, about every other commercial seems, have you been injured by a drug? I saw one, have you been injured by this vaccination? A lot of parents who have autistic children have a concern as to whether certain vaccinations contribute to that condition. And I think it would be a very interesting liability issue. And I'm just getting thinking about this in the future. Is that if you no. But here's the liability issue: is if you're the employer and you require your employees to get a vaccination, all right, and that employee has an allergic reaction or even a fatal reaction, what's the liability of the employer? So what? I know the guideline, but again, I'm just, is it in the course and scope of your employment? I'm just, you see, one of the things that happens, and that's why we're having this discussion, which often, when they make laws and make rules and make, edicts and pronouncements, that there's unintended consequences of every law. And a lot of times, if you have some pretty sharp people in the legislature who are examining these laws that are being made, they say, oh, these are good, feel good laws that see good on the surface, but they have a lot of unintended consequences that may be worse than the benefit of this particular law. I'm not saying this, but that's what they do. And that's the discussion. So the discussion that we're having here is that if you're an employer, and this is just something in the future, and you tell your employees that you have to get a vaccination, and people have died in the past of certain allergic reaction. It has happened, not very often, but enough.
What happens on the other side? What happens if?
Right.
I'm a local employee like you and I are, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have over 50 employers,
Mm-hmm.
employees. So we may not be governed by that same standard that the EOC requires. And what if we say, look, I'm not requiring our people to get it, and somebody in the office gets very sick or dies because the whole office wasn't vaccinated?
Mm-hmm.
And then now all of a sudden say, look, you didn't follow the EOC guidelines, you didn't follow, state mandates, or whatever the case may be, and therefore you open the door for liability on the other side.
Well, just to be clear, the EEOC gave guidance on whether if you were fired for not taking a vaccination, would that be discriminatory under some of the discriminatory umbrella, saying that would be sometime. And they said, the guidance they said is no, it's not, unless you have a objection for the American with this, have something with Americans with Disabilities Act, or for religious objections. Now, I will say that certain people with neurological issues, maybe with a form of autism or something else, may have, or certain people with certain predispositions would be endangering themselves by having certain vaccinations. And that's to be determined, because we don't know enough about these vaccinations to know which groups are susceptible and which aren't. But 2.0, huh? Yeah. And again, it's a very complicated issue, and there's no right or wrong answer. But it does need to be fleshed out so that everybody understands, what are the possibilities and what are the implications, what are the unintended consequences of these certain situations. And I think it's on both sides. You could have it like Albert, you said, if there's not vaccinations and somebody catches COVID, and then we're having that now with there's immunity now to sort of stimulate business activities. And then you got the other side. If an employer says you have to get a vaccination and they have it and they have a very adverse reaction, allergic reaction that is very serious, well, what's the employer's responsibility for that? So these are sort of getting into some no-win situations for employers that, with the imposition of certain requirements and government regulations. But it's interesting. That's going to be something that evolves in the future. And I'm sorry, it'll be interesting to see how these vaccinations work out, and what type of reactions, allergic reactions, and the effectiveness of it, which we all don't know, and we won't know for several years. So let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Every Saints fan knows it's always Saints season. Whether you live in New Orleans, the Gulf South, anywhere in the country, you know we breathe, eat, and dream black and gold football. That's why every Tuesday evening at 7, Bobby Hebert and Christian Garrett host the Saints Hour on the Community Coffee Saints Radio Network. We drill down on the latest Saints news and interviews and feature guests with deep connections to the team. If you
no one on the phone right now, but lots of joy.
All right.
The Community Coffee Saints Radio Network, WWL.
Zendesk makes software that helps businesses provide better customer service. If you're a business, this is probably something you're already thinking about. If you're just a regular person, maybe not so much. But you should, because you're a customer. We all are. And customer service is everywhere. Buying stuff online, calling your doctor, using an app to get a ride to the airport. These are all customer service experiences, and our lives are full of them. And over 160,000 businesses are using Zendesk to make them better. In fact, you've probably used Zendesk before, even if you don't know it. We're helping companies empower their customer service agents, and we're giving them the tools they need to get the job done. You might say we're champions of customer service. Visit Zendesk.com/champions to learn about how we're helping businesses get better at customer service. That's Zendesk, ZenDesk.com/champions.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Let NOLA Protection improve the security of your business by keeping your property, customers, and employees safe. NOLA Protection is the local choice for security personnel and equipment. Give them a call at 504-577-2323 or on the web at NOLAProtection.com.
After such an emotional year, she deserves a gift that brings out the best emotions possible. Happiness, joy, and love. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in creating those memorable moments. And this year, we believe they're more important than ever. So, for the entire month of December, we're making it easy with 48 months, 0 interest financing on everything. All rings, all earrings, all bracelets and pendants, all bands, and yes, all designer jewelry, including thousands of engagement rings with certified natural diamonds. With Diamonds Direct's expanded holiday selection, it's like shopping 50 jewelry stores at once. And rest assured, in our showrooms, we're going above and beyond when it comes to your safety. Plus, we're offering video chat.
Okay, gentlemen, we do have a caller. It's Miss Elizabeth from Gretna, and she has a question about the subject we were just talking about and her experience.
All right.
This year ended on a high note by celebrating your love with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and symbolic. From Diamonds Direct on Suburban Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Homeowners, Jewel. If you live in Jefferson Parish, you know who to call when you've got a clog. Pipes R Us Plumbing. But what about when your water heater breaks, or you need a new appliance hooked up, or you want to update your kitchen or bath with new faucets? Pipes R Us does all that too. A+ rated with the BBB and locally owned for 17 years. So, for home plumbing repairs, water heaters, faucets, and more, call Pipes R Us Plumbing and let them peek in your pipes. Online at PipesRUsPlumbingLA.com. LNP number 2953.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't take the weekends off, and neither do we. If you've been hurt or wrecked over the weekend, don't wait until Monday to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait until Monday to call an attorney. In a wreck, need a check? Call me, Mike Brander. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current could set aside cash for your child's future education, we've already helped over 1 million clients just like you reach their home financing goals this year alone. So remember this. What can give you the technology to refinance easily and save money? Okay, here we go. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Back to WWL and all things legal with attorneys Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Connect on the whodhatlending.com talk and text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, you weekend lawyers. You okay, Albert? All right. You okay? There you go. Oh. All right. Good. Well, did you have your mask on when you sneezed so it didn't get to me 60 miles away? All right. Well, in California, you got to eat with your mask on. That's what I hear. Let's go to Elizabeth. She's got a question. Regarding what we were just talking about, or comment. Hey, Elizabeth, you and all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico.
Hi, guys. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I work for a huge medical corporation.
Mm-hmm.
This is about the EOC and the ADA accommodation. I have a horrible death allergy to seafood. I don't. They knew it when I onboarded. It was in my onboarding paper. I had 7 reactions within a matter of a few months. One anaphylactic that I ended up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
This was a medical facility. I've never in my born days ever seen seafood being brought into a medical facility because patients are allergic. And you never know who's going to, it's an inhalant. It's all over. Once they bring it in, the fumes are everywhere. It's in the microwave. Somebody would use my computer. They have it on their hands. My hands would start swelling. And, you know, and I have an ADA accommodation for that.
Right, right.
So my point is, when I had all these problems, it was a workers' comp deal. Well, needless to say, workers' comp never paid a penny. My insurance picked it up. And it's been a nightmare. Trust me. It left me with a COPD. It was so bad that when I go into the office to even open the door, I would have like a panic attack. Because I said, oh my God, you know, who's eating it today? Where is it? Is it on my desk? Is it here? Is it there? So this brings up, you know, when you have an accommodation with the, you know, for these issues, just like the vaccine, if you're allergic to thymosin or eggs or anything else, and you get that vaccine, you could have an anaphylactic reaction from it within a matter of 30 minutes. And when you're dealing with a company with workers' comp, I might as well talk to the horse, because they're not getting it.
Yeah. Well.
And that's what I wanted to bring up to y'all, because I thought this is a good question that you could, you know, I'm not going to hang on the phone, but it was a good thing for you all maybe to explain to people who have problems out there like I have.
Right.
And I mean, it was hell.
Well, and that's in the context of the seafood and, you know, the context of the vaccination that we were talking about. under the guidance that was issued by the EEOC, they did say that if you have an accommodation under the Americans with Disabilities Act, they should, attempt to accommodate that. Now, the accommodation is, depending on what it is, may or may not be able to keep your job. So one of the issues that would be with the vaccinations, which is different from you, which is seafood is not a necessity for feeding patients. And so to keep seafood out of the hospital would say it's not a big deal because they'll eat, hamburgers or, whatever, some other protein. But you may have a healthcare provider saying that if you don't have the vaccination, you have an accommodation from the American with Disabilities Act. There's a question as to whether, it's just a question that we were raising. I don't know which way it would go. They say, well, we can't accommodate that accommodation because we need everybody vaccinated, because you could be a danger to a patient, you could be, who's vulnerable. So that's the question, because the under the Americans with Disabilities Act, they don't need to keep your job if they cannot find a reasonable accommodation to that particular issue. So that's the question that's going to be held for the vaccinations. Now, in other jobs, like in other situations like yourself, yes, that accommodation would be very reasonable. It would be very reasonable for the hospital to say, hey, let's not bring seafood in because it could be a problem to you with your allergy, and also to other patients because they may have that same allergy. And so that accommodation is very reasonable for that. And,
You know what, actually what they did do is they said that it was a total impossibility, that they were infringing on employees' right to eat seafood. So whenever it came in, I used Effie like 6 times.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't breathe. So, and they didn't know when I told them it's molecular. It's in the air. You can breathe the droplets. You can breathe it. It's just that simple. Evidently they didn't get it. Well, needless to say, I'm not there.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you're risking, in my situation, you were not only risking my life, but patients that were highly allergic.
Right. Because they can be susceptible to the same allergy. And Elizabeth, you bring up a very, very good point. And we thank you for calling, and you help, sort of clarify for a lot of listeners some of the issues that may happen in the future in your situation, as well as the vaccination. So we thank you very much. And Elizabeth, you have a wonderful Christmas. And there's one other legal concept that you brought up that I would like to ask Coach O. Do you have a constitutional right to eat seafood in Terrebonne Parish and Lafourche Parish? What do you think about that? All right. Well, I'll ask Coach, if I ever have him on the show, I'll ask him that. Just get him a little legal opinion on that. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albernico, your weekend lawyer. It's all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
After a year like no other, she deserves something truly special. And Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best holiday offer ever. 48 months, 0 interest financing on it.
Okay, we have one more caller, Mark from Gretna.
Yeah.
And he has an actual instance of the employer telling him, no vaccination, take the hike.
Colored gemstones.
All right.
And our designer engagement rings. Diamonds Direct makes it easy to splurge with this first time ever holiday offer. And as always, your safety and your convenience are top priorities. You can shop in our showroom with confidence or video chat with us online at diamondsdirect.com and even arrange for curbside pickup. If we've learned anything this year, it's that our loved ones and our...
We're looking at about 3.5.
Wait a minute. Okay,
so make
thanks.
our holiday the best ever with a gift that's romantic, timeless, and sentimental. And remember, with any purchase, you can take advantage of 4 years 0 interest financing. Diamonds Direct.
Also,
Suburban Avenue across from Lakeside Mall. Traditional paint is 70% water. You're renting paint. There's no stability with paint. That's Kevin Memahat, owner of Mid-South Coatings. Kevin, tell us about the product you put on your customers' homes. Our manufacturer opened the doors in 1961. They're the founding father of wall coatings. They're on their third generation using Mid-South Coatings. What will someone's home look like 30, 40 years from now? If you take care of the exterior of the house, it's guaranteed to last a lifetime. It's going to look like it did today after we got finished applying the coatings. Nobody else can meet that or exceed the warranties that we provide. What's the biggest concern your homeowners have? The customer's biggest concern is, can they afford my products and services? My homeowners all come back to me and say that it was a lot more affordable than they ever thought it would be. Call Mid-South Coatings for a free estimate. 504-407-2222. 407-2222. That's 407-2222. Or visit midsouthcoatings.com.
When our Saints hit the field, they're prepared. They've got a plan. They've got a playbook. What's your retirement playbook? Whether you're already retired or closing in on retirement,
The last spot on the set is Progressive Insurance.
Gotcha.
copy of the retirement playbook right now. Visit saintsretirementplaybook.com. That's saintsretirementplaybook.com. Brought to you by Presley Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of the New Orleans Saints.
It can happen easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go. You think of calling for a ride home. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over.
My identity's been taken. Fa la 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 LifeLock. 'Tis the season for more protection. Fa la 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 LifeLock.
The holidays can be a magical time for identity thieves because we do more things that can expose our sensitive information without knowing it, like
shopping online for deals on presents. Fa la 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 LifeLock. On sketchy websites I shouldn't visit. Fa la 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 LifeLock.
LifeLock helps detect threats to your identity, like your info for sale on the dark web. And if something goes wrong, our US-based experts are there to help fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions in all businesses, but LifeLock can help you
solve a holiday identity crisis. Fa la 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 LifeLock. Get started now with promo prices. Fa la 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 LifeLock.
Save up to 25% off your first year. Go to lifelock.com and enter promo code AWARE. That's 25% off at lifelock.com with promo code AWARE.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
It's WWL and all things legal with attorneys Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Connect with us on the whodhatlending.com talk and text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Mark's got a question or comment on a similar situation with his employment and vaccinations. Hey, Mark.
Hey, how's it going? I'll make it really quick. My employer is giving me the strong arm on getting this COVID-19 vaccination, which I think is being rushed to the market, and I don't know what's in it. I think this is going to be a growing concern in the country from a lawsuit perspective, from a legality perspective. I'm between a rock and a hard place. I need my job, but what legal ramifications, what routes can I go to preserve or protect myself as a free sovereign American and a working man against this medical mafia, this medical tyranny, where they're going to want every employee. I don't think even just with my job, but I think this is going to be a growing issue across the board. And it's happening very rapidly too. I'm hearing other people say their bosses are telling them, you got to get the COVID-19 vaccine. So what do I do? I don't want to take it. I'm scared of what's in it. I don't know what's in it.
One of the issues, not just for you, but for younger women, there's issues regarding sterility, or there's a property in there, which we're not going to know for several years, but that's a concern that's been expressed. Right now, according to the EEOC guidance, if you have a religious objection or an accommodation, due to a medical condition, right now, as it stands, you're in a tough position because in absence of those protections, an employee can terminate you in most jurisdictions if you don't take the vaccination. What can you do? It's going to have to be a grassroots type of issue. It's going to have to be addressed by the legislature. And I'm sure it's probably on their radar right now. But as it stands right now, you only have a couple of escape hatches with the American Disabilities Act and religious objections. And so this is going to have to be something that will have to be addressed by the legislature, Louisiana state legislatures to, what is their position on that or giving clarification on it? Because yes, the vaccine.
There's going to be a lot of people finding their religion real soon.
Yeah.
I can't take this vaccine because I'm religious.
Or, the other thing you may have is they may have doctors who have concerns about the vaccinations who would be willing to give a medical note stating that it would be maybe given some of your conditions that it may be detrimental. But right now you sort of open it, and that's why we sort of brought the issue up, because we're on the cusp of having this discussion. And, you have to weigh, the rights, do you have to get a vaccination to keep your job versus keeping other people protected? And, and there's issues whether these vaccinations work, they're effective. You got issues as to whether, they have long-term effects. There's concerns right now as far as the allergic reactions. There's certain properties in these vaccinations that may cause sterility of young women. So there's all kinds of things that are unknown that needs to be sorted out. But as you stand right now, you're in a difficult position, and and at this point, your employer could do that. So I would, get help, from starting with your legislator, state representatives, state senators, because that's what they're there for. That's what they're there for, and they need to know. So we're in the embryonic stages of this particular issue, and hopefully it'll be resolved one way or the other that allows people to exercise their freedom without and also keeping workplaces safe. However you're going to do that. All right, Albert. Thanks so much. Any prediction for the Saints game?
I really don't. I think it's just there's too many X factors without.
All right.
The Breeze comes back.
Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks. I mean, next week. All things legal.